Today is episode 116. We are living in a crazy time, and we have another returning guest this morning, Jimmy Daig. He's going to talk about some of the changes that are happening due to the circumstances that we're going through with the virus here in real estate. He's going over some key items on some contracts. And I just wanted to say something right now. I mean, these are trying times for all of us, and we're all in this together. And my wife and I just drove down to the Strip yesterday just to see, the emptiness and the lights, to see it for ourselves. And it was pretty sombering. But one thing that, we got to all do during this period of time is we got to control what we can control, which is our own thoughts, the decisions that we make for ourselves and for our families, and take this time to really love on ourselves. Right. And this is a reset that, we probably all needed as people here, just to slow down just a little bit here and appreciate things that are really important, which is our health, right, and our family. So, but we wish everybody, to stay healthy out there, stay safe, and keep not only your physical health, but your mental health very healthy at this point. So, but before we go to Jimmy, Ruth, what is happening in Las Vegas right now?
Well, I'll tell you what's happened year to date, and I can guarantee that'll change next week. But year to date, we have sold. Well, I was all organized here. We've sold 6,802 homes, and that's from the beginning of the year. So we're at a rate of about 104 home sales a day, which is good. The rental market is also renting 71 homes a day, and the rate is $1,654 for average. And I give average rates, everybody. I don't do the median. And then the new homes are
Ruthie, $1,600 a month average rent.
$1,654. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I was surprised with that, but again, that's average. So
yes,
you have to, which I think is the true figure personally. I was looking for my notes. I covered them up with a Sisolak article in the paper today. But anyway, so new homes are selling about, new homes are going at a rate of about 26 a day. So we're doing about, if you add those up, we're doing about 201 transactions a day, rentals, new homes, and resales. So that's a pretty active market, and it's much more active than last year when we were selling 80 homes a day. It's jumped up to 104. And I was watching the news this morning, and I think we had a record February in real estate across the nation. So record sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a great February. The average home that's selling, that's a resale, is $335,000.
Wow.
And the new home, Jimmy, I believe it's up about 375, 380. Do you know that figure exactly?
It's at least that. It's at least that, because the delta is usually somewhere between 80 and 100,000 between new homes and resales. Yeah. And I don't have this exact number, but I'm sure it's at least 400.
Yeah.
Wow.
Up there. Yeah. The other thing I always like to mention is the iBuyers and what they're doing. So last year so just to understand how I do my math here, I take the top 10 agents who are top 10 in the number of transactions that they close, because to me that's what's really important.
Right.
Volume to me is not important. Volume being, the price of the home.
Yeah, the price of the home, correct.
Yeah, I think it's more important is how many real estate agents are actually closing deals.
Right.
So in the top 10 out of that 6,000 number, let's see. I'm sorry. Out of the 8,352 homes that we've sold, 10,000 of those homes were done by agents that are in the top 10. Okay. And of the top 10, the iBuyer platforms were 65% of those. So we've got 4 of them. We've got Zillow, the non-MLS, the Open Door, and the OfferPad. And they sold 658 of the 1,010 homes.
Wow.
And Aaron Taylor, my partner, is number 8. Rick Brinkus is number 9. And there's a gal out there, Jamie Griffin, and her name has popped up. And I looked at the number of listings that she has yesterday. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I don't know what this girl's doing. And she has only 4 people in her company. I don't know if you've heard of her.
No,
Jimmy.
I haven't.
But yeah, she's just popped up and just going gangbusters. She sold 50 homes this year so far.
Wow.
Yeah. And that could be her and her team, just like Aaron Taylor has a team.
Sure.
But still, it's a lot of homes.
Still.
For a small company to accomplish all that. That was impressive. So last year, the iBuyer platforms were about 61% so of the top 10. This year, they've jumped up to 65%. And that's where we are today. And the market's better. We're selling more homes. Aaron said he had a listing appointment yesterday, one today, or 2 yesterday, one today, and people are still listing their homes. And I think he's probably got about 30 in escrow, and nobody's canceled yet. So we'll see. You know, that when I heard that, I wasn't really too worried at all. It is what it is. But when California shut down, it concerned me a little bit.
Yeah, well, it prevents people from being mobile at this point. So, and this is the reason why technology and social media marketing is going to be so important for everybody to really learn during the specific time right now. And you know, it's kind of crazy. I'm shaking my head because it's monumental what's happening right now. That you know we're unable to move freely about here. But you know, so how's that really affect? What anything else you have on the agenda before we go to Jimmy?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, and I don't know if you all know this, but the Strip was closed for one day in 1963 when John F. Kennedy was shot. So this is historical. Yeah. And I think John and I are going to drive down there maybe this weekend. And one other interesting thing, we were in California Monday and Tuesday on a medical issue. And I was driving back Tuesday evening. And normally you see cars, you know, the stream of cars, all the headlights, the cars. And interestingly, they were all trucks. There were so many trucks on the highway bringing food, you know, or going to California for more food to bring back here. I've never seen so many trucks on I-15. It was quite something to see that. And my husband was a nervous wreck because I was driving and passing these trucks. He says, slow down. I said, no, I want to get past them. So I would go faster when I go past the truck. I don't want to be slow down there with that truck. So anyway, it was an interesting drive home. The amazing thing is we're still married. It got, yeah, he, I think I scared him half to death, but anyway, speaking to technology, and I know Jimmy's going to talk about that. And then I'll give people maybe some of my tips. So Jimmy, take it away.
Well, I have to tell you the story about Doris and Dolores. Doris and Dolores were driving down the street, and Dolores is sitting there, and she watched Doris go through this red light. And she doesn't say anything because she thought, well, maybe I missed it. I mean, I'm kind of getting up there, and maybe I just didn't understand it. So they go a little further along, and Dolores sees Doris miss another red light. And she thinks, this is wild. I mean, come on, Doris is a better driver than that to miss 2 in a row. So the third red light they come up to, and Dolores says to Doris, she says, you know, there's a red light coming up here. Are you going to stop? And Doris says, oh, am I driving?
Oh my God. Oh no.
Not to poke fun at old people, because I am one. So
right.
Max brought up the new disclosure that the Association of Realtors came up with, and it speaks to the mental health of our market. There you go. Thank you, Ruthie. I'm glad you have it in front of you, because this is basically for deals that are already in escrow. And when somebody says you're going to lose your job, there's going to be a psychological reaction to that. Oh, they're going to close down the Strip and all the ancillary businesses. So it's predictable there's going to be a psychological, mental, emotional response to this. And our association locally came out with a pretty good form I've seen the Arizona Association of Forums, and I actually like it better than that one. I understand California has one as well, but it brings the buyer and the seller, if they're in escrow, into a little bit of perspective. And Ruthie, you and I went through this yesterday on a broadcast, and it basically gives the buyer and the seller 3 options. The first option has always been to cancel the transaction altogether, which is option number 3. And there's going to be some people that say, well, what are my other choices? Because we know in human psychology, I want to look at the worst case first. Give me the worst case first. So now I know the ugliest thing that can happen. Then give me the best case, and then give me the most likely scenario. And on the form, it says, listen, if we want to do this deal, let's figure we might need a 30-day close or extension, or actually it's a blank space you can fill in if you think you need 40 days or 45 days or whatever. Let's just extend the deal. That's number 1. And you decide together with the seller how long you want to extend it for. If you're going to be out of work 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks we extend it, or 30 days. Option number 2 is it says if the buyer can't go in to sign the papers because the escrow company is closed or the government agency is closed, it talks about when there's circumstances beyond the control of either the buyer or the seller, we're going to extend the deal. Let's be reasonable here. Let's just extend the deal as long as it takes. If it's called force majeure, if no one can impact this, then you work around it. You still want to buy the house, you still want to sell the house. And I think if this form is presented well, it will alleviate some of the concern of the buyer and the seller. As you said, Max, we're going to get over this. The government has shut down before. The whole government and FHA said, we don't have any more money. So we've seen these types of scares before. They just haven't been as widespread as this, because this doesn't affect just the people that are trying to buy a house. This affects everybody that's working. And so it's a wider, broader effect. And part of that is due to the way that social media is able to communicate with everyone in such a big fashion. And so the people that are thinking are coming up with options and choices and solutions. And that's what that form is. It's a solution if it's presented well.
Absolutely. And I haven't seen, I know you said there's a listing one. I haven't seen that one yet for sellers to perhaps, hopefully it addresses sellers taking the home off the market temporarily if that's what they choose to do. But there are other options for sellers and for buyers with protecting themselves. And I know in California, most of the listings say appointment with listing agent. And so if a buyer wants to see a home, I would think that the agent should make it an offer subject to inspection, so that if a seller is going to let someone in the home, it's someone who has decided that they want to buy that home. And then the seller can decide if they want to be in that home when the buyer arrives with the agent. And there should be booties and masks and hand sanitizer and gloves that people, breeze through the home real quick and maybe say, well, we're only going to be here 5 minutes. And I think that we can do a workaround like that. And the huge factor is pictures. Huge. If you're an agent and you have someone who really wants a home based on what they see, but they would like a video of it, you can, there's companies out there that'll go and do professional videos, or you can take your phone and do a video to show people the home. Some people want to see the condition of the carpet, which may be not reflected in the pictures so clearly. So I think that if we all can just think about the positive things that we can do to continue, accommodating the buyers and the sellers that want to continue with a real estate transaction, that we need to start thinking about that and try not to panic. I know there's people panicking.
And Ruthie, you have been a proponent for some time of this whole live streaming and Facebook, things like that. And we have seen a few agents over the past couple of years. They don't even take the buyers to the houses anymore until they video going into the neighborhood. This is the neighborhood we're going to look at. Here's the home we're going to look at. If you like this home, then I'll make an appointment with the seller. And I've heard from some agents that have said, you know what, if the seller wants to be there, they can go in the backyard for a few minutes while the buyer looks at the home. Yeah. But there have been some very successful agents that have gone to the model. I'm not going to take my buyers over there until we've live streamed it on my camera. Here's what we're looking at. We're looking at this house. You don't need to come down to my office. I don't need to waste your day. If it's 3 houses that I'm going to show you and you really only want to see one, then we'll make an appointment with the one. again, you and I talked about this the other day, Ruthie. It's going to force people to get better at technology. And this is a smarter way to show houses. Why would I drag a buyer to 10 houses when they really only want to see 3? It's not effective. It's not efficient.
And a lot of that has to do, I always have admired John because he spends so much time on research. He just, he looks at every picture of every home of the homes that he's going to show people. I mean, he has a system where he narrows it down to then he may have 10 homes, and he looks at every picture, digs as deep as he can into those homes because he doesn't want to show people things that they don't want to see. And I see a lot of other agents saying, "Oh my gosh, I showed this buyer 30 homes," and I want to say, why?
The disservice to the buyer. It takes time from them that as agents,
and it's confusing.
And we've talked about technology displacing the agent. Well, the agent that uses technology, and you've said this over and over again, is going to displace the agent that doesn't, and it's going to force the agent that are willing to use the camera and not waste their buyer's time. I don't want to show you 30 houses. It's not fair to you. It's not good service to you. Let me go out. Let me look at 30 houses. Let me video those houses. So it's not even pictures. It's real time. Today, this is what this house looks like. Today, this is what this neighborhood looks like. Out of these 30 houses, which 3 do you want to go see? Actually physically go see in the car. And it's going to raise the level of service that we provided, because commissions have been downward pressure on for some time. And it's partly because the buyers have been doing this work for us. Now maybe we'll get out and do some of the work ourselves. Go look at the house and do it, live stream it to our clients right then.
And Jimmy, even the seller can do a video.
Brilliant. I learned something every time I talk to you. I think having the seller do the video, now we know it's real time. This is what the house looks like. How come I never thought of that? Max, what's the matter for me?
Well, the seller agent, not the seller themselves, right?
Even the seller.
I'm talking about the seller, Max.
Yeah, they want to sell their house.
Exactly. Right. And if I call them up and I say, just do a video of the kitchen. We want to see, the condition of the stove, or little things like that the buyers are concerned about, and every buyer is concerned about something different. So if you know what they're concerned about once they see the pictures, then the seller can do a video. And I'm trying to eliminate all the friction, Max.
Yeah, absolutely.
And every seller and every buyer wants the same thing. Make it easy for me, save me time. If you make it easy for me and save me time, you're a good agent. And that makes it easy. If the seller will do some of the video, do some of that for the listing agent, that makes it easier for the selling agent to show the pictures to their buyer and decide. Because the seller, if they could have 3 people walk through their home that were very serious instead of 25 people, I don't think there's any sellers that would say, "Oh no, I want 25 people walking through here that don't really want my house. Just give me the 3 that really want it."
Yeah,
exactly. And the thing with technology and looking at Zillow on the buyer end, I remember just 10 years ago when we were just trying to find out our house, you get like online fatigue.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Where you're like, I'm just done looking houses. I would rather have, and I reverted back into my mind. I'm like, I would rather have a realtor. Let me give you the exact things that I want, right? My must-haves, my wishes, and my cherry on top type of wishes, and then you go identify like 3-4 homes, whatever, and then get those things back to me so that I can evaluate. Because people want that. No one wants to sit on Zillow or any other platform looking through hundreds of houses, because it's like it's just too much information. They get confused.
And save me time. Save me time. Make it easy. You give me too many houses, too many choices. Ruthie, you talked to me just before we went live about one of the local title companies, and they're still taking appointments. You just can't walk right in. You have to make an appointment. You always had to make an appointment. What's different about that? You always had to make an appointment.
It's no different. I don't know who's walking into title companies and getting their doc signed right away.
What's different is the reaction that we have. Oh my God, they've closed the title company. No, they haven't closed the title company. They've said, we're not just going to leave the doors open for everybody. For safety, we're going to say, make an appointment. If you have a reason to be here, and one of my offices is in a commercial building. It's in a big office building. And the big office building came out with an announcement a couple of days ago, said, we're closing the buildings. That doesn't mean we're closing your business. If you have clients, meet them at the front door, take them to your office, do your business, but we're not closed. We're just locking the doors as a safety precaution because people are freaking out over this thing, but we're still open for business. And Ruthie, you talked about essential services versus non-essential. Can you touch on that?
Yeah. So if you look in today's review journal, there is an article as it's a text of what it's actually a text of what Sisolak said yesterday. Sisolak went on Facebook for about 15 minutes and talked about the mandatory order to shut down non-essential Nevada businesses. And so I printed it out, and if you look on page 5, word number W as far real estate, meaning word number W as being an essential business. Real estate, financial institutions, property management. And so if everybody wants to know, just look in the review journal. You can go online and look at it. And so that you're perfectly clear as to what's essential and what's non-essential. But real estate, title companies, banks, property management, they're all essential businesses. So I think everybody needs to get that. This is the headline. And I don't know if you can see it too well.
Yeah.
But it's, I think it's in the local or the news, but the review journal online is very easy to follow.
How long is the list, Ruth? A few pages of essential businesses?
It's the essential business list is all the way up to, there's 26 essential businesses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
because there's 26 letters in the alphabet. That's the only reason there's 26.
Yeah, and then the interesting thing too is when I was looking at that, there are companies, and it's in the paper, that are looking for people. Amazon needs people right now. Smith's grocery
is hiring.
store,
Yeah.
Albertsons,
Costco,
Walmart, the Siegel Group of Nevada, which has 8,000 apartments in the valley. Chrysalis, Las Vegas, it's a 24-hour home care company. And the list goes on. So, you know, if you're out of a job for some reason, there's other people that need people, that are hiring people. So
on a temporary basis, you know, so, and when things get back to normal, you can, you know, get back to normal to your regular career. But if you're looking for a job, now's the time to be resourceful. You know, in times like this is like, you know, stop the panic and really wake up to what opportunities are out there right now, and be resourceful right now. There's
exactly.
Bezos came out publicly and said he's going to hire 100,000 new workers. 100,000.
Oh my gosh, that's a great stat, Jimmy.
It's out there, and he also said all of his base level employees, the ones that are making $15 an hour, just got a $2 an hour raise across the board. Now, not the high level execs, but the people that were base, $2 an hour. And it's not just in America, the UK, the Euro. If they're working on a Euro base, they got a raise. Everybody got a raise that's working for his company because he needs help. He wants them to come to work. Here's what the company's doing, 100,000 people. And you and I talked about this, Ruthie. The Gates Foundation just donated $100 million for someone to find a vaccine for this thing. My guess is within 30 days, we're going to have some type of a vaccine. It may not be a universal vaccine, but this will be fixable. That my guess is 30 days. So everybody, they're going to have no excuse not to go back to work.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Also, everybody, in this article, if you are the essential business, it tells you what you have to do, how you have to comply with the social distancing and things like that. And what we're going to do for our classes, everybody, what Jimmy and I did yesterday, Jimmy did the law and legislation class, which was a 3-hour required course, and that's in law. And one gal came and took the class. She happens to be in the building, so it was convenient for her. But anyway, we live streamed it, you know, and so we're going to continue to do that and live stream information and classes. Just people can watch it on Facebook, just like everybody watched Sisolak yesterday on Facebook, which I thought was pretty smart.
Is there any way you can lobby Galvar to give credit? Maybe do a quiz, a test, or something that for people who sign up. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, in these times, I mean, why would they not do this? Because especially if people are at home and need something to do.
I think Jimmy's already got that covered, right, Jimmy?
Well, I'm writing a letter today to the real estate commissioners because I did teach a class, Max, in Santa Fe, New Mexico on Monday and Albuquerque on Tuesday and Wednesday. And the Albuquerque Association got their state to give temporary approval for online streaming classes to get the continuing education. So they got CE credits. Now, I want to be very clear. the system that they used allowed the instructor to see every student. I knew who was sitting in their chair. I could call on Ruthie. What do you think about this?
Right.
Max, what do you think about this? So they were very engaged during the entire time. And the person that hired me to teach at the Greater Albuquerque Association of Realtors, she was in the room the entire time as well, that we were doing this live stream. And she made sure that we went the allotted time required for this CE class. We did not end early just because we were online. We got really good student engagement. They were just at their house. And that's been the progression that we've seen with technology. Now the instructor does know, are you sitting there? Are you engaged? Or are you playing solitaire? What the heck are you doing? now we should be able to get stream classes approved for CE, because we've gone from 24 hours to 36 hours of CE. Even if they just say, you know what, 12 hours still has to be in the classroom.
In class, right.
12 hours, maybe let's do 12 hours of live streaming, as long as you're using a platform that allows you to stay completely engaged and the instructor to know who's leaving the room for more than 5 minutes, because that is part of the problem. You're supposed to be in there for 3 hours.
Yes. And Jimmy, you know, in our center, we can do that as well, just so you know. And I think that we'll end up doing that. And I think it's going to eventually be an option. And I mean, it should be, don't you think?
Well, I did speak with one of the real estate commissioners the night I came back, actually Thursday, before we did our class. And I said, listen, if New Mexico is in front of us on this, we just need to look at what they're doing and take a lesson from them. We can learn from everyone. Yeah. And so they've pushed this through. And on the commission, 3 of the commissioners are very involved in education. They're highly skilled, and they're very busy teachers, and they should see the wisdom in this, I'm hoping. And the other 2 commissioners, I'm just not familiar with them. They may be heavily involved in teaching as well. But this is a viable option as long as you use the right platform. And the platforms are free, and there's multiple ones out there. So it's not going to cost anybody any money. They can still get their money. I still think we need a certain amount of in-classroom. And if we have to limit the number of people in class right now to 10 or a reasonable number, there's still people that they want to show up. Because when I did this in Albuquerque, 50% of the agents that were in the class, they did show up. They could have stayed home. 50% showed up.
And Jimmy, you know, the class that you and I did yesterday was interesting because a human interaction, you can't replace it. And our class was shorter because we didn't have the groups that we put together for them to learn from each other and get ideas and share and whatever. That's the only negative I see about doing all of the classes online. I think that there is an element there where it's great to hear. I can't remember the girl in the previous class about the new homes. That's all she does is new homes. And I mean, if we wouldn't have been able to listen to all of her great information if it was just online. So what do you think about, maybe having a portion of required classroom and a portion of required online, and then a portion of I don't even like the testing phase the way we have it right now, because I'm like you. I mean, people breeze through those tests and just answer the questions, and you don't even know where they got the answers from sometimes.
Right. And it didn't take them 3 hours.
It didn't take them 3 hours. So
I am going to propose a balance of 12, 12, and 12. 12 in the classroom, 12 online. But the platform that we used yesterday, had we known that we were going to be doing that, we could have sent out some of the handouts to them.
Yes.
So, and I could say, just like you held up that coronavirus addendum,
yes.
Hold up this bulletin from the real estate division. Let me see that you're looking at it. Go to paragraph 4, because we can do a slide deck. And if you want to do an online class, go to the class ahead of time, download the documents. So when we talk about paragraph 4, you can, Max, what do you think about paragraph 4? Now Max has to weigh in.
Exactly right. Yeah, the technology. I mean, the attendance online. You can still get the testimonial that you're looking for, Ruth, because companies like Zoom will everybody has to be in attendance and everybody has to have a camera, so you actually can call on people and get their testimony. So it's a way to continue to have interaction. Yeah. So Max, I mean, the technology is there.
This is not new. I taught for a company in Canada, and I taught across the entire country of Canada. I had students from every province. And the platform we used, this was 3 years ago, and I could call on students and get them involved. I didn't use the camera because of the bandwidth that we had 3 or 4 years ago in Canada and here. But now with the technology changes that we have, the compression of files and stuff like that, that was 3 years ago. It's time for us to catch up anyway. This is just
Yeah.
going to force us. The unintended consequence of all this craziness is going to force us to get better technology. It's going to force us to look at how are we delivering our services? Do I really need to drag the buyer around with me to see 12 houses, or can I just show them 3?
Exactly right.
Exactly. And Max, just to segue, because what is your take on the stock market?
Well, it's stay calm is what I can say, right? And you don't want to make short-term decisions for long-term objectives. Just like you wouldn't go out and sell your house right now, right? And go rent because the situation with what's happening here. So I mean that's really my only perspective, and everybody should really talk to their own advisors and go through their own situation, right? But the thing that I want to remind people is like now's the time to get really sometimes take a step back and have a good perspective, a long-term perspective on things, right? We think the world is coming to an end, and it is not.
No.
It hasn't. We, as human beings, we've been able to go through so many, challenges and obstacles. The bubonic plague that wiped out half of the world during that period of time, and here we are, 7 billion strong still. And growing, and the economy continues to get bigger, stronger, and better, and the government is stepping in right now. They're doing what they need to do, and this is an unprecedented time in the fact that we're being forced to be quarantined, and it's not something that's structurally wrong with the economy right now, because 4 weeks ago, unemployment was at 3.5% in this country, right? And real estate was going to probably record a record year, and we still could. I mean, depending on what's so crazy about how quick things are happening, things could happen quick for the better as well. And we got to make sure we keep that possibility in our minds. Our instinctive flight mechanism is so strong because we're feared, but it's because there's the unknown. There's too much unknown right now, and this is a time for us to get more comfortable with the unknown, because nothing's guaranteed tomorrow. Like, we think we know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we don't, regardless of if we're in good times or bad times. I mean, you and I can go step out tomorrow and it could be the last day of our lives. But we can't live like it's the last day of our life by cooping ourselves up in worry and anxiety and building out a scenario that's the worst case scenario. Because I mean, I remember going through 2008, and I personally lost everything too, like a lot of people, right? And I can tell you, that's the best thing that could ever happen to me. It made me realize that I could shed everything in life, start from nothing, and rebuild, right? Well, and we'll always continue to do that.
Ruthie read a spiritual thing yesterday in our class when she did a short thing, and it basically was talking about slowing down. And before this ever came up, I had 3 different sources talk to me about, let's just take a step back, spend more time with your family, spend more time doing things that are fun. Let's not get so caught up in our busyness, I think was the word in that thing, Ruthie. Right. You said we're so caught up in our busyness, we're missing, the main thing is to love one another. And that's what it comes down to. And this is a chance, and that's what the article said. There's a chance for you to love your family, love your customers and clients, and just call them up and say, how are you? Just be a human being at this point. And Einstein said, being an example is not the main means of influencing. It's the only means of influencing. And this is the time for us to influence people by being an example, reaching out, touching our customers and our clients and our friends and our family, and just being loving at this point. And I will tell you this is what I said yesterday, go to work. When they see you going to work, that is the example. People need to see people going to work, because some people can't. They're closed. And if real estate is not a non-essential, if we show up, even if it's by appointment, the fact that we're showing up every day, we are leading by example. And that's key to this right now, for us to keep some rationale and some calmness with our people. I will tell you, I'm going to work every day the next 7 days, every single day. And Ruthie said, can we do something at what time, Ruthie?
9 o'clock.
Every day?
Every day.
Every day?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
I want to create a sense of community and assure people that, Jimmy, you and I are kind of on top of things in this industry, and to assure people that, the business is continuing, and there are other ways, like we talked about today, to show real estate and sell real estate. So I want to continue with that. And touch as many people as we can. And with social media, and the reason why I want to do it every day is everybody's not going to watch every day. So if people watch one or two shows here and there, I think it's going to give them some level of comfort that when they hear our opinions on what's happening, because I think things are going to change on a daily basis almost in the next 30 days. I think that, and I have to say this, I was not happy yesterday with with Sisolak's approach to what we're going through. I think he was very negative. He didn't have any positivity about him at all. And he used percentages. So if I tell you that 70% of my business has canceled and I only have 3 deals, okay, that's not a lot of deals that canceled. But he used percentages in light of how many cases and how many deaths and all that. And I think he didn't do anybody a service. I think it was a disservice in creating more fear amongst people. And I just, oh, sorry. Shh. Rocky, be quiet. Anyway, if he's on Facebook, if you just watch it, and I would love other people's opinions, but I was very disappointed. I didn't
Ruthie,
think
the upshot of this is that there are going to be some people that are, so concerned and so cautious that they're not going to do a deal, which means you're going to have to work twice as hard because there's still people that are going to do deals. It's just like when the market slowed down in 2008, Max, we had to do a lot more prospecting to get the same number of transactions. But my bills don't change, which means I've got to show up. I've got to do the work. I might have to talk to twice as many people and write twice as many deals to get the number closed. But my bills are still my bills. I need it. And showing up to work offset some of that concern and that cautious nature. Oh, well, you know what? They're going to work. Maybe I should buy a house. I got to live somewhere. And when rents are $1,650, Ruthie, that's a huge number. $1,650 a month average.
That's a big number.
And with the interest rates right now, I mean, you can buy a house.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. Right. That's your point, right? You can buy a house for cheaper monthly. Yeah.
And you got to live somewhere.
And you got to live somewhere. And, that's why I bring up the fact, like these people in the top 10, they are setting an example and they're out there working. And I bring up Aaron Taylor. I mean, he's going on a listing appointment today, had 2 yesterday. He's got 1 tomorrow. And he even played some golf yesterday too. So, I mean, come on, people, we can do this,
right.
But you have to, and he's going through his sphere of influence, his database, he's working. Right. Everybody.
So people are available right now. So to pick up
they're available. Right. That's a good point. I take that for granted, but that's a huge point.
Right.
And they've always wanted to hear from us. That was one of the complaints that the consumer had about real estate. It's, I heard from this guy while we were in the transaction. The transaction's over. I don't hear from them anymore. And they want to hear from us. They want to hear from you. And if you just call them and say, look, I love you. I just want to check in, see that you're doing okay. And get our mindset right. And if I can help you in any way, I'm here for you.
Right.
Yay.
Be happy. Everybody, she's a happy little girl.
And as much as you can as much as you can normalize your life. I mean, my wife and I usually have date night on Friday nights, and so we still took our date night last night, just because we needed a break. Obviously, with the kids being at home, my wife is experiencing a little bit of fatigue from being with the kids all day. But we actually ordered out at Sushi Fever down on Sahara, and so I mean, restaurants are still open for the most part. You got to call ahead, and we were like, I wonder if we can just do it, order to go. And sure enough, they did. And they do curbside service, so that you don't even enter the restaurant. They take your credit card over the phone, and someone brings it out to you. You check your food, and you don't even leave your car. So I mean, for us, we feel like it's important to continue to do our part in supporting the local community here as they go through some of these times. And if you can do that, I encourage you to do that, because we're all in this together.
Yes,
right?
We are.
And the only thing that has ever cured any type of disruption, any type of health problem, is community. That's the only cure. And so we cannot stop the community and the interaction there just because the government tells us to be afraid. There's still ways to do it safely. We're still doing the social distancing and all the things that the CDC recommends, but it doesn't mean that we have to stop everything that we're doing and and just get cooped up in our houses.
Yeah.
Well, if to love is to serve, this is the time for us to really go out and love out people and serve them, and that's the way we do it, Max. I agree. We create that community. We reach out to them right now. We be the example.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's encouraging to see people out and about still, you know, so.
I want to give a shout out to Grape Street Cafe, because next Friday they are going to be giving out 1,000 dinners,
Wow.
spaghetti, meatballs, salad, and bread. And they have gotten some community people together to contribute the money. I think they still need a little bit more money, but it's going to be quite something, because they're also going to, when they give you the food, it's curbside, of course, but so they give you the food, but they're also going to give you a gift card. I'm so sorry, everybody, but John's not here to control my boy. So anyway, they're going to give you a gift card for gas. They're going to give you a gift card for Grape Street to come back when you can, or take out, like you said. And then they're going to give you a gift card for a grocery store. So, Aaron Taylor and 10 or 13 or 14 of his friends have gotten together to do this, and reaching out to like Nevada Power and to some other companies and people that want to participate in doing that and showing, you know, that sense of community. So I thought that was really, really something.
Yeah, fantastic. No, and we're going to see people and organizations, you know, I mean, rise up here. I mean, this is in times of need like this, and there's going to be examples of heroic things that are going to be happening. We need to, you know, pay attention to that. Yes. And look at how we can each play our own part in driving and to keep moving forward, right? Yeah. And not stay stuck in this moment here. Because life is going to go on.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
I haven't seen the numbers, Max, but what you're talking about, some of the people that really set an example, besides the fact that Bezos is going to hire 100,000 people, and besides the fact that the Gates Foundation is putting $100 million in this, Priscilla Chan, Mark Zuckerberg's wife, she's donated a boatload of money. I don't know the exact number, but I also understand that Warren Buffett has stepped up and said, look, I'm going to get behind this too. We're going to fix this. The people that have the power to do stuff that the government doesn't have, because they don't have any red tape. It's their money.
Right.
And, you know, they're techno philanthropists. They're mega wealthy people, and they can actually make a huge difference right now. And they are stepping up, and they are recognizing, I'm in the human community. What can I do to help people? And they're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean,
and I think there's, you know, like necessity is the mother of invention. And so I think that we're going to see some inventive things happening that will, you know, add some, maybe some better things to our future.
Yeah, so, absolutely. There's no doubt that that's going to happen, because, you know, people want to be prepared for this type of event next time around. You know, like, how do we prevent this from just shutting down the entire economy? How do we, you know, change our businesses? And this is the moment that everybody needed to take a step back and really reevaluate things. And, you know, from our belief systems to, you know, what's really important, and then, you know, risk management moving forward. I mean, so things.
And what a way to get people's attention about the fact that we are one world. I mean, Russia is working with Korea, and Korea is working with South Africa, and South Africa is working with France.
Sure.
And if Italy closes down their whole country, how does that impact the rest of the world? We are being reminded we are one universe, one song, and this is a huge reminder. This is a huge wake-up call that you can't be against anybody. You have to be for everybody, and
you got to be for everybody. Right?
Collaborate. We got to collaborate and fix this, because every country, nobody's spared. There's a couple countries that haven't announced any cases at all, but most countries are impacted by this, and we have to work together. And it's forcing us to do things. And now we have the technology that allows us to do that. We can talk to somebody in Italy, and we can give them all of our documents and all of our research, open source. It's been around for a while, but we haven't used it. Now we have to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great point. I know Kane and I are going to utilize the time to refine all of our classes and make them, update them, because technology is always changing. And so are the social media platforms and the things that the agents need to know how to do and what not to do. And we're going to use the between now and the end of the month, we figured out yesterday afternoon how much time it would take, and we'll have that room pretty much to ourselves, our training room and our video streaming and things like that, to really perfect our classes. And so the outcome of that will be better for us. And if everybody takes that approach, to learn these things. I mean, YouTube, you can go on YouTube and learn how to do anything. And you need to keep in touch with all of your clients. That is so key.
So key
now.
right now.
And give value.
Right. And like Jimmy Dig, just call them up to see how they're doing. I mean, I can tell you right now, I mean, that's going to be rare, and they want to hear from people because they're isolated.
And here's what I'm going to call them with, Max, just so you know. I'm going to say, you know what? You have no excuse. It is time to clean your room. Pretty scary.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Well, I think the show's been terrific today. And anybody have any final thoughts?
No, keep a positive attitude right now. Take care of yourself. Breathe. One of the things that one of the things that causes illnesses is the inability for the body to have actually proper oxygen. So practice breathing. Now's a great time to learn how to meditate. And really learn how to like manage your own body and mind in the most effective way. So take this time, everybody, to be safe, stay healthy, physically, mentally, and we're all in this together, and we're going to get through it together.
We are.
And I would just say thank you, Ruthie. Thank you for having this. Thank you, Max. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. And thank you to everyone that's dialed into this.
Absolutely.
That's the community. Thank you.
Yes, and I'll make sure that it goes out. I'm going to boost it to everybody. So if they didn't get a chance to watch it this morning, they can watch it anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great
Thanks,
week, everybody.
We'll
see everybody next Saturday.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.